Stars fans, we're here with two people that need no introduction, Coach Phil Salvaggio of the San Diego Sockers and Commissioner Keith Tozer. They've joining us, and I was just informed by a little birdie that this is Coach Phil Salvaggio's first ever podcast. So we are going to make him nice and welcome here on the Stars Alliance show. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you, Nick.
Well, as we wrap up an exciting game in Utica that looked like it wasn't going to be that exciting and then suddenly got really exciting at the end, let's talk a little bit about why we're here. We're going to talk first. I got to do my Stars plugs, and then we'll talk about the league. Tomorrow night we have a home game against the San Diego Sockers at 6:05 p.m. at the Accesso Showware. At 3 p.m., the Tacoma Stars reserves will be playing the championship game of the Whistle. If you use code WHISTLE25, you can get $20 reserve tickets to both games. So one ticket counts for both. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff, followed by our 6 p.m. kickoff against the San Diego Sockers. Okay, let's talk about the league. Playoffs. Big news this year. New format. We're going to be hosting it in San Diego. All 8 teams will travel to San Diego. And to my understanding, Friday will be seeds 1 and 2 playing 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. Saturday will be 4 versus 5 and 3 versus 6. And then the winners of each of those games will play each other on Sunday. And the final will be a home and home.
Sounds about right.
How exciting is that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a new format. Can you guys maybe talk a little bit about how it came to be, where the idea came, and how San Diego, with its first ever indoor soccer specific stadium, got to host?
Yeah, I'll first start, Nick, is that obviously the owners bought into the idea. It's very difficult, and it was a business decision, not so much competitive, but a business decision first, is that the last game in the season's on March 30th. We have to start the playoffs within 6 or 7 days. In order to buy 25 tickets in the middle of spring break is very difficult and very expensive. We know that flying to Mexico at that time, maybe $25,000 to $30,000. So we decided that if we could get everybody into one arena, business-wise, for the quarterfinals and semifinals, it would make a big difference financially for all the teams involved. At that time, Phil, who built Front Wave Arena, stepped up to the plate as he has in a lot of other areas. And he said, hey, I'd love to host at Front Wave Arena. And Phil, you can talk a little bit what that means to the Sockers and to Front Wave.
Well, you just having all the best of the MASL in one location. It's just a great weekend. The top 8. And this league is so competitive right now, as you just watch, St. Louis and Utica go at it. A playoff team and one trying to make the playoffs. The league is so fair. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So when you put them all in one location, the top 8, you don't know who's going to come out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fun thing about the hosting them in one area is that we used to do that back in the PASL days. Phil, we would go to Cincinnati, and we'd have all the teams travel there, and you'd have a winner, and you'd have somebody walk away with a trophy. I think it's really cool in terms of leveling the playing field and having it be, hey, listen, we're all playing in one place. I do agree from a business standpoint. Keith, that having the prices or having the tickets and airfare done well in advance, so you can book them a month and a half in advance, getting them knocked out and saying we're all going to go to one place is awesome. And it's also super cool because the stadium, as we talked about, is indoor soccer specific. It's something that the size is most consistent with the game. And it's something that the stadium was built for the game. So I think it's really cool to host it there. Obviously, for us, in terms of proximity, it's nice. And I think that we're hopeful that there's a huge crowd of people that want to come watch all the teams, regardless of who the matchup is.
Yeah, and Nick, let me also say that we all feel, owners and coaches in the league office, is that, yes, we would love to have home fans of Tacoma, of the Wave, of, whoever's going to make the playoffs see it. This is more about survival, growing it. I mean, obviously, the games are going to be in CBS Galasso, which has done a remarkable job, not only bringing the game to different eyes, but also bringing different eyes to the game as far as new investors and new sponsors. That's why we said that the two teams that get to the finals will be back in their home arenas so their fans could actually see them. And then the other side of the coin is we can fly out all 8 of our best referees, so the crew will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, obviously, but it'll be 4 of our top referees, and we'll keep rotating them. And we're also going to discuss in the coaches call on Tuesday about actually putting 2 other referees, one being Ryan Sigic, the head of referee, up in the booth, similar like going back to New York and having VAR during the game also. So there's a lot of things that I think are going to be coming out of this game positively.
Yeah, and Phil, obviously being in San Diego, I met you in 2008 or 9. Well, we started playing professionally in 2010, and you mentioned to me back then that you were going to build an arena. And I remember we used to kind of joke about it, being like, I'm going to build an arena. And we used to laugh and think, yeah, yeah, sure. And you finally were able to do it. So, kind of, what was that accomplishment like? What did that feel like?
Wow, overwhelming. The really, you can't even put any words. It's it's just like winning all those championships, you know, all in one day, and everything you've ever worked for. It just happened to, when you're in there and during the national anthem and you see the crowd and you see the people and how good it looks and how it's great for our sport, everything about it's just overwhelming.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
hey Nick, let me also say that I think Phil and his partner Josh and the Sockers have done an unbelievable job with all the finer things and the high quality things in Front Wave. If you can remember early on in Major League Soccer was playing outdoor soccer in baseball stadiums, college football stadiums, and NFL stadiums. When Don Garber and the owners of the league got together and said, look we got to go into our own arenas so that we can pick our own dates. It's a real estate buy. We can do concerts, we can do other events. All of a sudden, they went from 10 million a franchise to 850 million or whatever they're getting now. So we're hoping that what Phil did and Josh in San Diego could be maybe the beginning of that. Because again, you only have 12 home games. Now Phil's got the Clippers from the G League. He's got concerts. I even think he brought in Sam to do beach soccer. So he has that building generating revenue from him and the Sockers all year long, and that's what we need to get to.
Yeah, I mean, my next question was going to go from there of why indoor soccer. So, what is it that got you guys into indoor soccer, and where is indoor soccer going? Uh, I mean, I not maybe not everybody knows this, but my first 2 indoor soccer coaches are on the call. Phil Salvaggio was the first person to coach me indoor, and Keith Tozer then took me on from Milwaukee, and then I went back with Phil in San Diego. So I've been with you guys for a long time. But why indoor? Like, what is it about this game?
I think it's a great game. I mean, first of all, there wasn't no outdoor in the '80s, and so all the best players were indoors. In the U.S. So we had World Cup players playing indoor. I mean, it's just phenomenal. But the action pack, the skill level, you're in it. You're in it. People don't get up. I get it all the time. People would love our game more than the Clipper game. No offense to the Clippers, but our game is so more exciting than a basketball game, and it's people are into it, and the physicality, the athletic. I mean, it's fast. It's the skill level, and also the players. I can't get over how good the players are getting.
Yeah, Nick, if you talk about how I loved it as a player. I was a striker in high school and college. When I turned pro in the MISL, they moved me to the back because most of our players were foreign players. But for me as a hockey player, also growing up, me as a player in indoor with my personality, it was great because you're always got the ball. You're always either defending or you're always goal scoring. So for me, that action all the time and not the 90 minutes drawn out of the outdoor game, uh, I liked it, but indoor really took it. And as a coach, Phil, you're more like a basketball coach. You can really dictate the momentum of a game, tactics of a game, changing systems of play. And like outdoor soccer, you do your practice sessions during the week, and then you make 4 or 5 substitutions, and you really don't have a big influence on it. But in indoor, a coach can have a big influence on the game, and it fits my personality, and I kind of loved it. So from being a player to being a coach, I love the indoor game.
I'll add on to your coaching. It's you're not coaching, you're actually managing. It's a management of the game. It's about timing and everything to that. You're not actually coaching. It's kind of funny because you talk about different formats and different play and players and putting them in different spots. So you're really managing the game. You're not actually coaching. And man, there's so much that goes on. You can't even think.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that people haven't seen or maybe haven't given credit to is coaching indoor soccer and the speed at which it happens and the rapid effect of your decision. You make a decision, there's an instant impact, usually positive or negative, to what you've done. And in an outdoor game, you make a sub in the 70th minute, and maybe the guy goes on to score, maybe not. In an indoor game, you call a timeout, you can flip the momentum of the game. You call a foul, you call a timeout on a restart, you can win the game. There's so many moments in which you can affect it. You change a line mate, you change something. It's such a big thing. So for me as a player, the reason I always got into indoor was, one, I was too slow to play outdoor soccer because it was way too much running, and that was just not going to work
That's
for me.
not true.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not true.
I
Come on,
couldn't
you're
run.
good.
But for me, it was I get the ball all the time. It was like I'm on the ball. It's technical. The ball's moving quickly. It's associative. It's me and you. We can pass and move, and then it's constantly attacking. Like you said, Keith. It's not like you're defending for 20 minutes or 8 minutes without the ball. It's we gave up a shot. We're going down the field. We gave up a goal. We're going to go score. We scored a goal. They're on the other end. So that to me was really intriguing, and it feels like. When you watch indoor, a lot of indoor, you turn on an outdoor game, you feel like somebody's holding like the slow motion button on the remote, like it's going too slow. So I think it's a beautiful game. I think that, one of the things we hear all the time, and I'm sure, Phil, you're hearing it now in your arena because my dad was in the arena and he was talking to a lot of fans too, is they're coming to the games and saying, I have never seen a game live, and this is so fun. I'm coming back. This is so cool. We hear that all the time here in Washington.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of new fans right now, and I think and going back to what Keith's saying, our league is going in a great direction. A lot of new teams that are going to be joining will have their own arenas and have control of it, and that's the way we're going to go. So I feel really positive that the league is moving in the right direction as this group is going forward, and we have some really really good teams and good owners in the group right now.
I think.
Hey Nick, let's go back to this one game format in San Diego, and I love it because you both are coaches, obviously. Also, in a best of 3 series, especially in the best of 5, and for sure in the best of 7, normally the better team wins. Right? You might lose a couple games, but at the end of the day, you can figure it out. In a one game series, one team might think, I'm going to come in and I'm going to drop back to half court. But all of a sudden, it hits the referee. You get 2-minute penalties, 2 penalties against you. All of a sudden, you find yourself down 3-0, and now you got to open up the play. I think the one game scenarios, and Phil, you said about it, the level of player in this league now is fantastic. I think those games in San Diego, I mean, each game, and 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fantastic. The tactical aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, the emotional aspect of it. I think it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I think I can't think of a time in the last 10 years of the existence of the league that we've had everybody, all the teams in one house, or 8 of the teams in one house, right? We've had the combine where all the coaches are maybe in one place, but we've never had all the teams there. So I think from a league standpoint, it's a pretty cool moment to bring everyone together. They do it in beach soccer a lot. They put us all in the same hotel, and then you end up kind of having that moment. But we've never had that in indoor, and I think that's going to be really cool. And I think the fans are going to see, and it's something we spoke about on my 10 for 10 with Eric Bergrud, is that the level of play in the league is so good. It used to
So
be
good.
it used to be that there was 2 or 3 very good players on a team, but that the general level was like pretty medium. I think now what you're seeing is that the general medium player is like very good. And then you've got, whatever, 5, 6, 2, 3, whatever, depending on your team, exceptional players, but that the median player is very, very good. And I think that what you're seeing is that there's a leveling of the playing field in terms of who can affect games. And I think that helps, with the culture. It helps fans because it's exciting. And I think that the league is going in a direction where the games are really pulling the fan in. We're seeing less and less blowouts. I mean, we saw one in Utica, but then the next night Utica goes and wins, so
That's an unbelievable game. Think about that. You lose
yeah,
22-6, and then you come back the very next day and you win
yeah,
10,
crazy.
10-6. What was it? 10-6? Yeah.
Yeah, it
How do
was
you do that?
crazy. I mean, that's I think what the league is. We went down to Chihuahua and got obliterated. I think it was 21-9 or 21-8. And then the next time we went down, it was 1-1 going into the fourth quarter in the smallest arena in the league. So it's a really fun league this year. And I think, as you said, Keith, the single game format means that so much more is on the line, and every play just means that much more, right? When you were like, for us, for example, we would go play last year. We played Chihuahua, and we won at home. But we knew that no matter what happened in game 2, the chances were we're going to game 3 because you're probably not going to beat them in game 2 in Mexico. So it just doesn't feel the same. How do you prepare for game 2 knowing it's probably a game 3? If it's like it's one, all or done, let's do it. So I think that's really exciting and good for the league. Mr.
Well, I'm
Lane
going to ask.
Smith.
I'm going to
Wow,
ask you a
Lane.
question. I'm going to ask you a question like, okay, I'm going to ask you coaches, and maybe a fan would want to ask this question. And
Hold on, Mr. Commissioner. Lane Smith, the owner of the Stars, just came on too, so we've got a round robin.
Hey, I had to join this party. I had back up you guys. I'm the backup band.
Hey, Lane.
All good
Hey,
stuff.
Lane. Lane, good luck in the WISL championship game tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I hope you go 1-1 tomorrow and you win that one.
So, Nick, here's the question for the coaches. And I learned this from Dr. Buss, Jim Buss, and Jerry when I coached LA Lasers. You're getting towards the end of the season. You know you're in a playoff. Maybe you're going to stay in the same spot. Do you take your leading goal scorer or your top players and not play them because you're going to rest them? Or you're going to go into those last couple games trying to figure out, I got to keep the momentum going?
Phil, I'll let you go first.
I think you always got to keep your momentum. Every game you walk into win. It's just it doesn't matter what position you're in, because anytime you rest or you're in it, you don't go in to win. You play the same team again and they'll beat you. So you always got to have the momentum. I think you play every game to win.
Yeah, I think
I'm not saying not to win the game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Nick Pereira is my leading goal scorer, and I don't want to risk him getting hurt in the last game of the season or the last 2 games of the season. Do you rest him? Not saying you're not going to win it.
I say no.
Yeah, my answer would be pretty similar to Phil's. I think that players want to play and feel the vibe of playing, and sitting off, especially for me, is like it's a lack of rhythm. But I will say, if there's any chance of injury or there's a player carrying something in, then absolutely you make sure that they're ready for playoffs, because you're not going to risk that player's health when you know that game doesn't change your season. So I think it's a case by case.
I love your answers, because that's what all the coaches are going to have to juggle in the last week of the season, because sometimes some of these games might be going to the last game to make the playoffs.
Well, now we should ask Lane Smith what the owner tells his coach in the last game when he's about to go into the playoffs. What does he tell the coach?
Win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you
really
get fired.
Win the game.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your job.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've got some fun questions to talk about here. I want to kind of throw them out at you guys and let you answer them. And then I've got a silly game at the end that'll kind of loosen things up here, and then we'll shut down. But I wanted to ask all of you guys, what was the first indoor soccer memory you guys had? Like, I think that's a key moment in every indoor soccer player's. What was the moment that you saw indoor soccer or it grabbed you? Do you remember that moment?
I have one playing against Tattoo in Sports Arena in San Diego, and him coming around the boards and pinning it and get a save. And I thought it was awesome because I watched him 9 years old playing for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. So he was like my hero back then. So that was a really special moment of indoor for me.
Very cool.
I grew up in New York, and I used to go watch the New York Cosmos play back when they had Carlos Alberto, Franz Beckenbauer, Canaglia, Dennis Stewart, and of course Shep Messing. So it was amazing to go to Giant Stadium and see 78,000 people. But on December 22nd, 1978, I happened to be standing on one end of the field at Nassau Coliseum in a Cincinnati Kids uniform. And on the other end of the field in the goal was the guy that I kept going to see play at the Cosmos, was Shep Messing. Pete Rose was on my bench as our owner. That day, I will never forget. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing here?
That was a good day.
Yeah. Before the Tacoma Soccer Center, before the Tacoma Stars, before any of that, you know, up where you live, Nick, in Bellevue, at the Bellevue Athletic Club, there was a velodrome. And we would drive up to Tacoma with a team, and we just drive up with the amount of players you needed. There was like you needed 6 players, you went up with 6 players. And, you know, I played there. You know, Tacoma to Bellevue is a long haul. We go up there and we come back, and I was like 19 years old, 20 years old. And then quickly learned that nobody was ever going to pay me any money to play soccer. So that's probably the reason why I can own a soccer team, is because, you know, if I was a professional soccer player, I probably at that time and space, you know, I would never have enough money to afford a soccer team. So
Lane, what position did you play?
I was up front. You know, I could score goals.
Yeah,
Right,
Lane holds a record. I don't know if you guys know this. He's the leading scorer in the history of the Tacoma Soccer Center, because he's been playing there for 45 years.
Yeah, because he owns it.
No, it's not just because I'm 63, and not just because I've been playing since like it opened, but 83, 84, whatever. I always played in the lower leagues. Okay, I was never in the top league. So like playing the lower leagues and co-eds, I built a bunch of goals back in the day.
And he keeps
it's kind of a joke. It's not really serious.
We play an over 30s league sometimes in the off season, and Lane gets mad at us if we don't find them on the back post. You know, you've got to find them on the back post nice and slow. If you hit it too hard, it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, except for I hurt my knee on Tuesday, and Lynn, my wife, you know, she signed an executive order that I'm not playing soccer anymore. So
there you go.
I'm on crutches, so I'm in trouble.
Well, I remember my first memory of indoor soccer is a pretty crazy one, because I was going to school in UC Santa Barbara in college, and I came back home to my parents' house in Carlsbad, and I happened to call the Encinitas YMCA and said, hey, listen, I'm in town. I play college soccer. I don't know if you guys have anything. And they said, actually, there's playoffs tomorrow for our indoor league. There's a team needing a couple players. Show up and see if you can help them out. And it happened to be that I was playing against Cheeky Luna, his brother Jose, the Ocampo brothers, and a whole crew in the Encinitas YMCA that had gone like 5 years undefeated, had never lost a game or something like that. And I showed up and happened to play. I was wearing cleats with cleats, and we beat them. And I had no idea if it was good or not. I was like, I don't know. We won the game. And they were all like, dude, you beat like these guys that have never lost. And I did pretty well. And I remember them being like, have you played indoor before? And I said, no, but it seems pretty fun. Like, it's really small. I don't have to run so far. So that was the first time I ever played. And then we started playing. Obviously, I was playing with Phil at the time. Phil and I were teammates for the Fusion with Alex Monar, Craig Childs, and Eric Wonderly, a whole crew of guys that was playing indoor at the time. And we would go to the Vegas Nationals and try to go win nationals out there, which I think the Stars went to back in the day too, Lane.
Yeah, actually, the Stars won some national championships. I think Adam Becker, as a player, won a national championship in the whole PASL environment.
Yeah,
it's also the Kansas City team used to be there.
Yes,
they used to be called the Kings with Bud. Bud was part of that.
Yeah, and anyway, that was my first moment of indoor. And then there was one before I joined the Sockers. we played a local team. It was called the San Diego Flash, I think they were called. And they played us in an indoor friendly in Del Mar. They wanted to do an indoor versus outdoor and do the back and forth. And I think we beat them 15-3. And I think I had 5 or 6 goals. And all of a sudden someone was like, hey, you're actually pretty good at this. And I was like, this is fun. And then we started playing indoor, and that was kind of the story. But yeah, indoor is such a special game and such a small little community of kind of family. When you go back, you can trace everybody through everybody one way or another. And Keith Tozer, have you ever heard that thing about 3 degrees away from everybody in the world?
I've heard about it.
You are the person that is the connecting person to almost everybody that we know through soccer. If you say Keith Tozer, at some point you've either coached them or done something with them. So it's you're the universal connector on that one.
You're calling me Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
You're the
Or
guy.
are you saying you're really old?
No, I never said anything like that.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, you know everyone.
Well, hey, let's talk really quick logistics, and then I got some fun stuff. When do ticket sales go online? When can fans start getting their single game tickets for the playoffs?
They're the groups right now for the weekend passes already out.
Okay.
And then Monday is the single game tickets, single
Okay.
day. So you got to buy a day.
Yeah, so you're going to buy it for the whole day. You show up, watch both games. You're there and make it an evening. Awesome. Okay, I got some fun questions for you guys to hopefully. Usually I embarrass my guests, but I won't do that tonight. It'll be fun. I promise it'll be above board. If you're stuck on a desert island and you've got to take 3 things with you, what are you taking with you?
Oh man.
I'm going to say Coors Light right away.
Coors Light for Phil. No
Wow,
Califino?
you couldn't plug that tequila that Lane likes.
I know. I couldn't plug Califino, but because I would drink Coors Light instead.
What else?
3 things that you could bring.
Yeah, you get to take 3 things with you.
Oh God.
We got Coors Light in Phil's bucket. He's got a bucket of Coors Light with him.
I would take, here's 2 things I would take. I would take a knife, okay? Because I think with a knife I could get a lot done. But just to pass the time, I take Danny Waltman with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his guitar.
And his guitar.
He's got a guitar.
At least you got entertainment.
Exactly.
That's right.
Lane said a knife, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he's been watching too much Survivor, right?
I think a knife and Danny Waltman have all kinds of things in his pockets, and he'll know how to get out of all kinds of situations. So he'll be fine.
My son said shelter, a rope, and company. And I thought that was like a really sort of mature answer. Company. I thought,
yeah, you don't want to be by yourself.
Yeah. Any different answers? No.
A barbecue.
Hey, I have a question though.
A barbecue.
Hey, I
and
have
a bone-in ribeye.
Bone-in ribeye. What's the question?
The question is, because we've got some audience here, we got some really smart people that track all of this stuff. How many times has Texas versus Dallas last night, there was a double shorthanded goal?
Ooh,
How often has that happened? Does that happen a lot? I've personally never seen it.
I have never seen it as well.
A 5v3 shorthander. Yeah.
Keith, you're probably the only one. You have more games than anyone in history. Have you ever seen that?
Well, first I want to comment what Christy Bright said. No one said their wives. So
well, we got 3 things. I always get 2.
Thanks, Christy. Yeah, that would definitely be
that would be good.
Wow.
That's a company.
Let's just tell all of our wives that we said that first, right? We said that one first, and then
that's a given. Actually, Lane asked me this question the other day, Phil. I think I've seen it somewhere between 4 and 5 times of 5v3 situation, but I don't think I've ever seen a shorthanded goal that we saw the other night.
It's
in,
pretty
in the
rare.
MASL.
It's pretty rare.
MISL, MASL, NPSL. I 5 against 3, a short at a goal. That's
Mhm.
tough.
tough.
Yeah, I mean, usually on a 5v3, it's almost a guarantee that the other team is scoring. That the 5 is scoring.
Yeah.
But I actually remember, Phil, last year when we beat you guys in the last game of the regular season, we killed a 5v3. You guys got a 5v4, and then we killed them both. And that was, to us, the equivalent of scoring a goal. That moment of killing a 5v3 was like,
Man,
I
your
can't even
memory's so
believe-
good on all
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that too.
We killed it, but I don't think we've ever come even close to crossing the halfway line on a 5v3. You usually don't even
No,
get to
you
the
you give
halfway
up a
line.
goal.
Yeah. And you
All
don't
right,
want
Lane, I
anyone to
got a
run
question
forward.
for you. Nick Pereira kicks off, and he plays the ball back. It misses everybody. It goes by Chris Toth, and
Yeah.
it goes into the goal. What is the call from the referee?
I've heard this one before and I get it wrong. It should be just goal, but it's not, right?
It's a goal.
I
Nope.
would assume it's a goal if he
No.
kicks. Oh, it's got to hit another player on
It's
the on
got
the
to touch
kickoff.
another player, right?
So what would the call by the referee be?
Uh,
Someone out there who's typing in. Do you know what
You
the call
you
is?
you can
Would
score
you kick
direct.
off again because it didn't hit a player?
he's saying own goal, though, Phil. He's saying I knocked it back to own goal towards my own goal.
It's
There
the
aren't
same. The
there
same
are
law
no
in
own goals
outdoor.
in indoor soccer, so you
The
have to
same
have.
law goes in outdoor soccer too. By the way, if you have a restart at the top of the 18, you go play at the keeper, you miss him, and it goes in the goal. What would be the call?
In outdoor, it's no goal.
Can I phone like can I
Phone a friend.
lifeline? Can I phone Wayne Dan?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can call somebody. You can text somebody.
We got a corner kick. I like that. Is it a
Oh
corner
my
kick?
God!
No.
Who said that?
Corner kick?
Who said a
Yeah,
corner
sorry.
kick?
Wayne
Somebody
Dan.
said corner.
Wayne,
it?
you just won a
Wayne.
ticket. You just won a ticket to one of the quarterfinals game. Well done, Wayne.
So that's who I was. That was my lifeline. Was Wayne
That
Dan?
was your lifeline. Yeah, you knew the answer. That was Wayne Dan.
I love it. Well done, Wayne. Let's ask Wayne. No goal. That's correct.
Yeah.
But it's a corner kick. All right. Sorry,
Okay.
Nick. I just thought I'd throw
No,
that in.
I didn't know the answer to that one, so I'm glad tomorrow if that happens, I'll know what to yell
Well,
at
we
the
know
referees
now.
about.
We know.
Yeah, I'll start yelling at the referees about it. Okay, I got some questions for you guys, and these actually might work for everybody because I think they might be age appropriate.
Wow, are
Okay,
you trying to say we're all old? That's what you
no,
just said.
no, age appropriate. Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Oh, easy. Stones.
I'm gonna say Beatles.
Oh God, what a tough one. Beatles.
Okay. You order a sandwich. Sauce is on, or a meal. Does the sauce go on the meal or on the side?
Side.
Side.
On
Side.
top.
Yeah. Crunchy peanut butter or creamy?
Crunchy.
Crunchy.
Either one doesn't matter. Take them
Okay.
both.
We never fully agree in this league, do we?
That's right. This is just to show that we've got all kinds of answers. Guacamole or salsa?
Both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mix them together.
No, you have to choose
Salsa.
one.
Salsa.
Guacasasa.
Guac.
Are you a night person or a morning person?
Night.
Oh God. Both.
Yeah, I gotta have coffee after coffee. Depends
Okay.
when it is.
So I nap. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I take like a 45-minute power nap. So that's I do get up. Not like crack, but I do get up early. But then I nap, and then
So you have to have a middle of your day. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, let me ask a caveat to you three. Do you wake up in the morning, no matter what happens? Are you in a good mood? I mean, do you say great morning to your wives or to your employees, or are you grumpy until you have your coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I wake up the way I am. It's a nightmare for my wife. I'm ready the second I wake up. I'm ready for the day.
Okay,
It's
Lane.
always good morning. It's always good morning.
I think I start out okay. It generally kind of goes downhill. You know?
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid?
Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid? I
Yeah,
don't want to be afraid, so I'd rather be embarrassed.
embarrassed.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed all the time. I do dumb stuff all the time. So then, like,
Okay.
I'd rather be, yeah.
Oh my God. 3 of us, we finally agreed.
Are you the cook or do you want to be cooked for?
I'm the cook.
I got no comment.
No
Because
comment.
I got a lovely wife.
Yeah. You know, Nick knows this answer. Lynn's a great cook. So, you know,
Okay.
I'm not
Would
even
you
allowed
rather?
in the kitchen.
Here's a good one. Here's a really good one. Would you rather be able to pause time to enjoy the moment or rewind time?
Oh, that's your best one.
I gotta say rewind time.
Rewind.
Yeah. Go back and relive a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, come
what was
on,
the
Lane.
other
Go
one?
with us.
When
Pause
you
it.
pause it,
Like you can pause the moment and like live that moment forever or for a long time. Yeah. We were having a discussion, those of us that are 35 plus on the stars, of what we'd be willing to give up to have our age start with a 2 instead of a 3. So that was a discussion in time about rewinding. Are you a guitar man or a piano man?
Nick, you know the answer to this one. I have a piano. I'm a piano guy.
Lane's a piano guy.
Yeah.
Phil?
I like piano, I would say, to listen to more than guitar.
Rain or snow?
Oh, can we just live in San Diego and just call it a day?
No. Yeah, where it rains one day a year and everybody freaks out.
Yes.
Bill, are you in town?
Yeah. I'm at the lovely hotel.
I can see that.
If I'm in Milwaukee, if it's going to be cold, I might as well have snow and not ugly rain.
Yeah. Lane, you got to say rain because that's what we have.
Yeah, I was in Milwaukee. It was like this mini outside, and it was no fun.
Yeah.
It was yeah. I'd rather have rain in 50 than number one.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Last silly question. If you could invite 3 people to a dinner party, alive or dead, give me some names.
Oh, I got mine. I'd love to spend a dinner party with the Pat Rack.
The Rat Pack?
Rat Pack. Sorry.
Oh, the
Frank
Rat Pack.
Sinatra. Who would it be? Frank Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Lewis and Peter.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy
Davis Jr. Yeah, those 3 guys in Vegas or on an island.
No, the island is gone. You're not on the island anymore.
You're not on an island.
Yeah,
I'm in Vegas with the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack. Okay. Any other comments? You get to say something like super enlightened, like you're really smart.
I would say Pele. Pele would have been awesome. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best of all times, in my opinion. So,
Jesus Christ, God, and there's you can go that direction, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're all gonna be there, so I love that. We'll get to meet him anyway.
I think I would sit down with Maradona, just because I think that'd be a party. I would want to sit down with like, somebody that changed the world. With like Galileo or Newton or somebody like that invented something crazy, somebody with an advanced mind like that. And then I'd want to sit down with somebody like Maradona who's really fun, somebody who's fun. If you're going to sit down to dinner with somebody, make sure you're having a good time,
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah, they would have a good time, I think.
Okay.
I think you'd have a good time. Okay, last question, guys, about indoor soccer. Where is this game going? Where is this league going? Where do we go from here?
I
I'll
think
let
it's
the
going in
two
the right
owners talk
direction.
before I talk.
I think I think eventually it'll be a world game. I think everybody will pick it up. I think it's so exciting. It's such a great level. I think it'll be a world game, and I think you'll be leagues in different countries.
Yeah, I think we're on a cusp. We've been on the cusp. I mean, COVID hurt. I think
Yeah.
COVID hurt a lot of sports, but it took us a while to come back. But I think we're on a cusp of a lot of things happening. And I was listening to Keith and talking about the San Diego and the what we're doing there is around having the playoffs there. And you see all the social media from the fans around the league, but like Phil and I are business partners, and I think the decision to go to San Diego for this, it was a unanimous decision amongst the owners. Okay, so as much as like we joke, because in the off season Phil and I like hang out, but after we played 6 times, again we play each other 6 times. Like the end of the season, we're like hating on each other, and then like a month later, we start to chill
We'll
out.
talk before the game. We won't talk after the game.
Exactly. But from a business standpoint, this is all unanimous stuff that happens in the league. It's like everybody's agreeing on all these things because it just makes so much sense from a lot of different levels.
Yeah.
You want the statement from the commissioner, Nick?
I mean, you're on the show.
All right. If we listen to the vocal minority, it's not going anywhere. If you want to listen to the majority of people, the league is pointing in an unbelievable direction. CBS Galasso's gains have been so successful and has opened the eyes of investors and sponsors and new fans. And what Lane said and Phil said internationally. Look at you got Kelvin playing a game 5 days ago. Then he's on stage with Neymar and Kaká, and he's voted one of the top players in the world. If you look at our attendance, it's been going up. If you look at
Oh, we lost him. Well, whatever he was saying, it's going up.
Yes,
It's going up.
it's going in the right direction.
I mean, I think that one of the cool things I was going to say earlier is like you look at TST. Oh, you're back.
oh, did I fade away? Sorry.
Yeah, we're going up. That's where we ended. We're going up, but you can keep going.
Okay, so I mean, you talk at the rule changes, you talk at the level of referees, you talk at our ownership group. I mean, across the board, as Lane said, we're moving in a new direction. And look at we have 78 teams between M1, M2, M3, and MW. MW is going to be huge down the road. There are so many positive things that are going in indoor soccer right now, and we're all so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think that what I was going to say is that you see the apparition of TST last year, 2 years ago, and you see the success rate of MASL players in that tournament. And you see those players that they were calling us MASL players because they didn't know what the MASL was 2 years ago. To fast forward now to, like you said, Kelvin being on a massive stage, watching players like Stefan Mijatovic, playing in the Kings League in Italy and having players represented out there and all these players. And now it's not MASL anymore. It's the MASL because they know who we are. They know what the league is, and they can point to a few players that start to make the conversation relevant. So I think that these big tournaments, and Phil said it earlier, the level of players that we're having in the league now is so elite that now you're seeing not just their exposure in the MASL, but their exposure elsewhere. And I think that's really exciting for the league because it just means that I always felt like the MASL or indoor soccer was relevant in the market it was in, right? It's relevant in Milwaukee for the Wave. But if you step outside of that market, it's kind of irrelevant. And it's becoming relevant again because there's more soccer, more activities, more things. And CBS Sports Golasso is a big jump on that too. So I agree. I think it's going in the right direction. And I think that the playoff series in San Diego will be something that we will look back at. Just like I said about the All-Star game in Utica, we will look back at that in years to come. Just like the All-Star game in Kansas City during COVID, we'll look back at those moments and think they were landmark moments for the league, and changing moments for the league. So I think it's really exciting. I thank you guys, all three of you, for your work in the league. And man, we're excited for tomorrow's game. Again, 3 p.m. for the reserves, 6 p.m. for the Stars Soccers. And it's going to be a series. There's 7 games for us left. And these last 7 games, there's a lot to play for. And every team nothing is guaranteed and locked in. First place isn't locked in. 8th place isn't locked in. It's all up for grabs. Some late flurries of activity yesterday on the trading block with players moving here and there. So it's going to be really exciting tomorrow and obviously moving forward. And we're looking forward to seeing all of you fans continue to support it and continue to push this league forward. So from the Stars, thank you so much. Lane, Phil, and Keith, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for supporting the league and pushing it. And any parting comments?
I'll go first, and then Lane and Phil can jump in. On February 9th at the Super Bowl, Roger Cordell said that sooner than later there'll be a team in the NFL in Europe and maybe the Super Bowl. Another thing that CBS has done is really open up a lot of eyes around the world, especially in Europe. I think this game is really going to grow there. This game is all predicated on our fans. Whatever fans are listening to the show, thank you for your support. As you said, go out, root on your team in this last month. I mean, March Madness, okay, in NCAA, but it's also in the MASL. Phil, thank you, and all Lane and the rest of the owners for stepping up and doing this in San Diego. Come out, meet everybody out there, and we'll see you very soon.
Come to the playoffs, please.
Thank you. Yeah.
Lane, good luck in that game tomorrow. Both games, actually.
Yeah.
Just one game. Good luck in one game. Just the first one. One game. All you need is
Phil, we'll
luck.
talk before the game.
Phil, good luck tomorrow.
Well, guys, you heard it here first from the people that run the league and that are moving and shaking in this league and helping us, helping players like myself enjoy the dream of playing indoor soccer and playing it for a long time and continuing to push the sport forward. So thank you, guys. We hope to see you all tomorrow. Again, we've still got deals for tomorrow's ticketing games. If you want to show up to watch the Whistle game, there's a code which you'll be screening at the bottom right down here for tomorrow's match. 3 p.m. at the Accesso Showware between Bellingham and the Tacoma Stars Reserves, Whistle 25. By the way, that final is going to be insane. They've gone in the final for the last, I think, 3 years running that I've been there at least. My first ever experience at the Tacoma Soccer Center was there. I witnessed a brawl. I ran out the back door because I didn't know what to do. Lane laughed at me on the way out because he thought I was soft. So 3 p.m. Stars Reserves against Bellingham United, and then same ticket will get you in for the Stars and the Soccers at 6:05 p.m. And if you've got an hour in between, pop over to Kent Station, grab yourself a bite of food or get something at the concessions and stick around for the game. So what else to say? Anything else?
Great
No, I
job,
think
Nick.
Phil and Cheeky's watched some of those games.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna watch that one.
You were here last year, I think, for the same for the final. Yeah,
And I enjoyed the girls' game too. Last time
that's
we were
right.
here.
There was a women's game before one of our games as well. That's right. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for